Hi everyone, welcome to Film Log Update number 14, covering most of the films that I've watched or rewatched during January and February 2022. So yes, we are back once again, very quickly, rapidly after my previous Film Log Update video, and of course that was for the end of the year, kind of 2021. We had all the ranking and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess I apologise for not kind of uploading too much content outside of the kind of Film Log updates. I keep saying this recently, in the last kind of 6 months or so. I guess I've just been very, very busy, and it's been finding the time to not only film these videos, these reviews, and gather my thoughts on different films, but also, of course, editing them and then uploading them as well. It's been very tricky to kind of manage my time, but that will change very soon, and I do promise I'll be uploading once again more consistently, outside of just updates, kind of videos, and loads of stuff planned, including, of course, as I mentioned recently, going through the Star Wars films on the channel, and all that kind of stuff, and different director series that I'm kind of in the process now actually of resuming, and I started once again the other day, resuming one of those, and that will be uploaded after this. But yes, all that aside, let's once again kind of regroup, and I'll be sharing most of the films that I've been watching recently, and obviously at the end of the video be awarding my favourite first watch of January and then February as well, for this year. And it's always great to hear your thoughts in the comments, so feel free to leave your thoughts at the end of the video, and on these films, and also just what you've been watching. I guess it's always great to hear what your viewers have been watching as well, and it's always very interesting to hear January kind of time, what people are doing, because for me it's very it could be quite random actually, after Christmas, where it's kind of a lot of rewatches for me most of the time, and then I kind of perhaps go a different direction in January, and start a new kind of series and all that kind of stuff, or just continue something that I did start earlier on, a few months ago, and all that kind of stuff, and was put on hold for kind of Halloween and then Christmas. So it's always very interesting to hear, and I guess I plan out, I try to plan out now most of the month, or at least a few weeks in advance, but it doesn't always go according to plan. So it's always interesting to hear what you've been doing film wise, and how you've attempted to do things, and maybe it didn't go according to plan. You started doing other things with films, and watching different directors, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, of course, it's great to watch cinema, and it'd be great to hear what you've been watching as well. So we'll start off with, of course, the 1st of January, and I've got my laptop, of course, once again in front of me. So very informal video, but yes, this was a film that it was resuming once again, going through the Star Wars films, and the Skywalker saga behind me, and I thought because of a series of events which I've explained recently, I watched the original trilogy again on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and then of course the 2nd of January, so there's 3 films, of course, that meaning the 1st of January was The Empire Strikes Back, and I've kind of got a thing as well where I've last year as well, the first I tried to watch an amazing film, one of my favourites, to kind of kickstart the year in epic fashion, and I didn't plan to this time round actually in advance, but there we go. The Empire Strikes Back. It doesn't really get much more epic than that, and of course I'll save my full thoughts for my reviews videos coming up soon, and obviously after that, Return of the Jedi again. We'll talk about those when we get to them on the reviews, but I think you can probably tell, at least for the originals, I've kind of revealed my thoughts before. I do absolutely love the original trilogy, Star Wars, and just some of the very first films really that I remember kind of just putting in and actually watching out of choice, and just being obsessed with. So yeah, on VHS back in the day. So yes, those films kick-starting the year, of course, and yes, after that was a Jason Statham film, Safe, and this is kind of an action thriller, and it's quite a involving film in places, and not much to say here, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was a fine film, and it's just it had some good action, and some interesting dramatic moments, and it was an investing film that kind of had me kind of engaged at first, and it went off at times, and it wasn't one of the best I think Jason Statham action films that I've seen, but it was a fun film, and I recommend it, and just all round, a pleasant film as a kind of experience. So after that, I continued with the Three Colours trilogy, and I think I kind of revealed my thoughts, recently on my previous one, but for the overall trilogy at least, I think Three Colors Blue is my favourite, and I did enjoy White though. That was the one that I saw in January, and I thought that was a film that perhaps I liked it more than most. It's kind of it's not really too liked, although the second half it certainly didn't live up to the first. The first half of this I really liked in places, loved, and then it kind of tanked for me, and the final act just wasn't that engaging, and it just kind of went off into a kind of bizarre area, and I never really regained that kind of investment that I had the first kind of 45 minutes or so of the film. And overall though, a good solid film that I'd recommend, but I think definitely yes, overall the weakest of the trilogy. And then Red, I think once again a pick up for that, and I did enjoy this again, and I thought this was in places great, and I think overall this trilogy definitely one that I'd recommend seeing. Very unique films, and it's a very interesting way, I must say, in the way it's kind of tied together. Especially in Red, and I won't kind of get into that, but I certainly recommend seeing these, and just going in blind and seeing what you think of them. So yes, Krzysztof Kieslowski's the Three Colors trilogy. Certainly films that I did get a lot from, and I would look forward to rewatching. Certainly Blue again sometime in the future. After that, continuing with the MCU films. So yes, I think I mentioned recently, I kind of for a while on the channel, I just kind of stopped talking about the MCU films, and I was watching them, in the last, quite a few of them, I guess, of the previous films, I just couldn't entirely skipped talking about, purely because, the online kind of state of YouTube and stuff was not great in regards to the MCU, and still isn't, and I just didn't really want to kind of get into all that in the comments with, people coming onto the channel randomly and just seeing that, and starting up, all that kind of stuff. I personally, I love the MCU, and Black Widow though was the one I saw, on the 7th of January, and I was looking forward to seeing, of course, No Way Home and all this, and thought I'd kind of resume, this time around, and kind of jump back into the MCU, of course, and yes, Black Widow for me is a good film. It's certainly not one of the best within the MCU, and I think there were some aspects that I did really like, and I think just kind of feel good moments at times, and different characters interacting, but I think overall it is just a fine film in the franchise, and it's not does it disappoint? Maybe yes. On the other hand, I think I probably like it more than a lot of people. So yeah, I thought it was a good film overall, and some great elements at times, but some not so great stuff that I wasn't that invested in. But overall, an enjoyable film, a fine film. Once again, the final act wasn't the best. I think it did kind of become a bit generic in the final act, but overall, an enjoyable film that I definitely kind of look forward to at some point rewatching in the future. But yes, shortly after that, now this was a much better film, and I loved this MCU film, of course, Shang-Chi, and yes, this was great. I saw it in January, of course, and was blown away by this, and I had fairly high hopes for this, and it's just I was watching these on Disney Plus, and then of course I did go to see No Way Home, which we'll get to. But yes, this film really surprised me. I think the action in this film and the visuals overall are stunning, and just although there was a slight lull, in the kind of early middle portion of the film, other than that, I just loved this film, and performances, of course. Tony Leung, genius to put him in this franchise, and he was so great in this film, and just what an investing film. The characters, the teaming up, just a really charming film. This, and the action, the universe, this actual mythology to this. I was just so invested in, and very unique, and just so kind of investing this one, and yes, by the end of it, I thought that was brilliant, and I cannot wait to see this again, and just although I watched it on Disney Plus, there's kind of some hiccups. I look forward to seeing it on physical media eventually, and yes, certainly a film that I responded very well to, and I did love, and yes, In between that, I saw Ingmar Bergman's First. So this is a very interesting film. One of his earlier works, of course, once again going through the actual set here in my Bergman's cinema, and yes, just once again a great set. Was very pricey, but I picked it up last year, and yeah, I kind of started once again going through these films, and First is a very interesting film. Overall, I thought it was fine. There were some flat moments for sure, but for what it was, this very small kind of, I guess at times experimental film. I certainly enjoyed this one, and I got quite a lot from this one, and I found it quite funny actually as well. Quite humorous, as well as kind of quite intense at times, and overall, it's a fairly kind of short film, and it doesn't really it's not one of the best Bergman films I've seen so far, but it's certainly one that I recommend, and it was fascinating to see this, of course, being one of his earliest films, and seeing what he was doing with this, and the characters, the narrative. Certainly I was invested, and overall a fine film once again from Bergman, and obviously look forward to continuing the epic kind of going through that set, and going through some films here. Villain with Craig Fairbrass. This was a very interesting film. Kind of at times, this was very good actually. I think at first, and I was investing, and different scenarios for the characters, and Craig Fairbrass was hilarious in this film. I went in to see this film because he's in it, and I love this actor. In these films, and obviously the Rise of the Foot Soldier films, especially, and just seeing this film was very, very enjoyable at times. Although the final act, things went off and it didn't really deliver at all. The ending for me really didn't work. But overall, I'd recommend this film. Again, a fine film that I enjoyed, and I think was well made, and quite a funny film, as well as quite violent as well, and Craig Fairbrass once again was great, and overall, it's an okay film. I recommend once again, and yes, glossing through some films here, and yes, next up is Eternals. Once again, another MCU film, and a very, it seems, divisive one actually, and I didn't really know that until I'd seen this film, and I just went into it, and I thought, we'll see what it's like. I went in, fairly blind, and these new characters and all this kind of stuff, and once again, I love this film actually, and I think the characters were great for the most part, and the performances here, and just different actors that I've always wanted to kind of see in this universe. I thought it'd be great if they were in this, and they did, of course, show up, and yes. Really great film for me. I think the final act, it wasn't the best once again, and that wasn't as good as for me the previous acts. But for the most part, I loved this film. Until that, and yes, the final act I did enjoy still quite a bit, and some great moments. But overall, it didn't quite live up to the enjoyment of the previous acts of the film. And overall, for me, yes, a great film once again, and I think fairly high actually on my ranking of the MCUs, and so is Shang-Chi, and I think, yes, Shang-Chi is better for me overall of the two, but I think Eternals, once again, another kind of gem for me actually, in this current phase of the MCU films, and yes, of course, shortly after that, we saw the big one, and went to the cinema to see this, and yes, Spider-Man No Way Home, and wow, I was very, very hyped for this, and I'd seen, of course, last year as well. Briefly, I'll say, of course, Far From Home. That's a film that didn't receive as much love as Homecoming, and I do like Homecoming quite a bit, but I think Far From Home. When I saw it last year, I was blown away by that one actually, and that is still my favourite of the trilogy. These kind of Tom Holland, Spider-Man films, but I think No Way Home for me, another great film, and I think I won't get into the kind of particulars because spoilers. I wouldn't want to kind of ruin the film for you, but let's just say some things in this that I had just been waiting for many years. This kind of thing, and it was just great to finally see, and wow, a good portion of this film, is just flat out, masterful, and I think the final act, Unfortunately, there were some things that I wasn't a big fan of, especially the ending for me, and it's just another one of them, unfortunately, kind of recent endings that I just thought did not work at all, and I really, really hated. And unfortunately, I came at the cinema, kind of just, well, as you do, maybe, naturally, kind of thinking on the ending, and it really wasn't an ending that I liked at all, and unfortunately, it just kind of affected, my kind of viewing of the film. But thinking on it, it is a great film, and I think there were some flaws that I had prior to the final act, but I think overall this film is great, and it's got some things in this that my favourite of the trilogy, really. And overall, I think Far From Home is the better film for me, and my favourite, kind of Tom Holland Spider-Man film, of the three, of course. And despite that, though, Far From Home, being better, I think No Way Home is certainly a great film, and one that I did love overall, and really, kind of a unique film once again. Moving on from that, rewatching two films here on the same day. We had Drive, of course, a Nicholas Winding Refn film that I've talked about on the channel quite a few times, and I love this film so much, and every single time, it blows me away even more, and this is a masterpiece for me, and definitely one of the best films, of the 2010s, and on the same day as well, I watched National Lampoon's Vacation, and it'd been roughly a year, actually, since I saw this again, rewatching this, so, last January, and it was great to kind of see this again, and a hilarious film that I think at times, is my, favourite kind of National Lampoon film. Overall, I do prefer Christmas Vacation, but this is, just as funny, if not, funnier film than Christmas Vacation, and yes, just great to kind of see this again, and very relaxed film at times, and just really enjoyable to see. And the day after that, I saw once again, and it had been many, many years since seeing this, finally rewatching Titanic. So yes, a film that I absolutely love, and just perhaps I can't find the time for a review of this one, but one of my favourite films, and as a kid, I'd always watch this, and another, obviously, James Cameron film as well, Terminator 2, I think them probably my most watched James Cameron films, and I think just, Titanic is up there with his absolute greatest work for me, and I think it's an absolute masterpiece, and it is a shame. I think a shame that James Cameron hasn't really, in all respect to him, but he hasn't really been making films or releasing films this century too much. Of course, Avatar, and obviously the sequels that he's been working on. Obviously, be very interesting to see, and see what he's kind of been working on. And but for me, Avatar didn't really speak to me, and I wasn't a big fan of it at all. When I watched that for the first time, and rewatched it, and I tried to watch it a few times, but could never really get into it. And I guess Titanic is one of the last, kind of James Cameron films, really. One of the most recent films that he's released, and here we are, still waiting on him to release different films, and I always respect his vision, but it'd be great, I think, if he had made different films this century as well, and I would have been paying to go and see these films, and I think because when he was at his best, I think one of the absolute greatest filmmakers of all time, and a true kind of visionary, and Titanic, of course, one of my absolute favourites, actually, and I think very, very high on my list personally, and this is just an epic kind of romance film, and of course a film that many people have seen, and certainly one that I count as one of my very favourites, and just always takes a lot out of me, though, and real kind of intense experience, but yes, Titanic, of course, and yes, moving on there, Hummingbird, another kind of Jason Statham film, it was a fine film, an okay film, fairly average, but I think, again, I recommend seeing this, and kind of in places, I guess, looking back on it, pretty forgetful, kind of forgettable film, but I think, there were some enjoyable moments, and overall, an okay film, Hummingbird, so yes, I'd recommend seeing that. Moving on from there, I guess, bulk of these films now are the Star Wars films, and of course watching all of the prequels, which again I'll save my thoughts for, kind of on the reviews, and I guess kind of we'll wait until then to reveal my thoughts. But certainly overall, it's been a great kind of rewatch of these films, and kind of appreciating, and kind of connecting to at least certainly one of these films more than I've ever done. It was one of those prequels that I never actually liked until now. So yeah, there we go. But we'll talk about those films through the Star Wars series of videos I'll be doing. And moving on here, Dexter Fletcher's Wild Bill. This is a film that was a gem actually, and I did really like this film, and real kind of comedic, yet kind of hard-hitting film, and just this kind of real gritty British film, and just highly investing from the start, and by the end of this film, I was very impressed, and really invested in this, and a film that I recommend seeing. Don't want to kind of give spoilers for this, but certainly a film that took me by surprise, and hats off to Dexter Fletcher for this film. Very commendable one, and yes, another Yorgos Lanthimos film, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and this really impressed me. I think this is a great film, and of course, great kind of actors in this. Of course, Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman, and just I think overall, we'll say now, this is my favourite kind of Yorgos film so far, and I've seen as well. Shortly after that, I'll say now as well, The Favourite. I saw that for the first time, and that's a film that I really did, take to as well, especially at first, the first kind of half of the film or so. But I think overall the best film for me that he's done, that I've seen personally, is The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This is great, so intense, so kind of haunting, this film, and the way the characters are talking. Once again, like it's at work, but very different this time, and I think very kind of real, hard-hitting film this, and at the same time very kind of kind of dreamlike and haunting, this film. I would just simply recommend seeing it, although a very disturbing work. I think I love this film, and certainly the outcome perhaps was not as kind of satisfying for me as I thought it would have been, but nevertheless overall a great film, and I absolutely loved this work, and was really surprised by this one. So yes. Moving on there, going through the Goddard set. Of course, I got around Christmas time, starting with Breathless, Goddard's feature film debut, and a very kind of overall loved film, and I saw this film in January. A film that I do, I liked to an extent, although I was definitely not kind of blown away by this one. I think the editing at times, was really impressive. Other times, it was kind of it hindered the film for me, and it's a fascinating film, a unique kind of visionary film. Definitely, I've never seen a film like this really, but I think overall, it just wasn't that investing for me, and it was a bit kind of flat overall with the characters, and although I did appreciate many aspects of the film, and just lines of dialogue, it's definitely very comedic at times. I think overall a fine film, but not one that I count as one of my favourites personally. But I obviously recommend seeing this one, Breathless, and yes, going through some films here. Identity Thief, another kind of Melissa McCarthy film, and Jason Bateman. Very pleasing film. Although some things I didn't really take to. It was definitely a very funny film, and in the end, a very warm and charming comedy film. So yes, obviously just brief thoughts on that, and Click and Collect. So this is a film starring Stephen Merchant, and big fan of this. Of course, this actor, this individual, of course. All the way from his early days, XFM, and great to see a film like this. A very short film. This kind of around. It was less than an hour actually, and I put this on when I didn't really have too much time to see a longer film, and really enjoyed this one. Kind of a Christmas film, and really charming film this, and hilarious at times, and certainly recommend seeing this. I was a bit kind of a bit into January when I saw this, but nevertheless always fun to watch a Christmas film outside of Christmas, and certainly very enjoyable, and Stephen Merchant was very good in this film. Great to see him in this, and yes, Going through some films here. The Strangers, this kind of horror film, very kind of claustrophobic film, kind of a very short film as well. And I'd had this on my watch list for a while, on Netflix actually, and just wasn't a film that I took to really overall. Some moments that I did enjoy, and got some things from, but overall it was a bit under par for me, and it didn't really do it for me. As a horror film, and some things to appreciate, but I didn't really get too much from this, and the way it kind of turned out, I just thought, I didn't really, enjoy that film, and it's a film I'd recommend seeing, to kind of see what you think. But for me, it didn't really do it, and it's just kind of forgetful as well. And going through some films here, stunning film after that though, another horror film in a way, and yes. The Nightingale. This is a film that blew me away actually, and I think, especially until that very final kind of 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. This is a stunning film. Of course, a word of caution. Very very violent. Certainly, it's said to be a very very violent film, and I don't deny that. It's especially the first kind of 30 minutes. There's some imagery there that's very very disturbing, and obviously if you're not too good with films that are highly graphic, perhaps it's not for you. But if you can kind of watch these films, certainly recommend that. And it's a film that was very powerful, and just highly investing from the start, and in the end as well. I thought what a journey I've come, and the characters, the raw emotion to this, and the haunting kind of hypnotic feeling this film has, the way it was shot, at times masterful, and I think just these characters and this experience, it really was unforgettable, and not a perfect film for me. The final act was things I wasn't as big on, but overall a stunning film, and it just really took me by surprise, and a highly commendable film that certainly I look forward to seeing again, in the future. So yes. After that, I saw finally, seeing Uncut Gems, and obviously a Safdie Brothers film, and I'd been looking forward to seeing this for a while, and I saw Good Time a while back, and I loved that film, of course, and yes, thought that was a really unique and just full of kind of energy film. This Good Time, and thought it'd be very interesting to see Uncut Gems. Obviously, Adam Sandler, I always said before on the channel, big fan of this actor, and this was kind of hailed as one of his best, at least in recent years, and considered by some as a comeback, whatever that means. But yeah, certainly a film that I did enjoy, but I don't think I like this film as much as many people, and it's the film that I didn't enjoy at times in the middle, and at first I think it was a bit too, it just wasn't that investing for me, and a bit too much, and things going on. I wasn't really taking it in truly, to the point where I was invested. I was following along easily, but I just think it was just the narrative wasn't that investing at first. Although I did pick up in the second half. I think it's a good film, and I wouldn't go further than that. I think I definitely personally preferred. Definitely take Good Time. I thought that was a much better film, and just much more of a kind of investing film, and kind of more dazzling film. But I think Uncut Gems is certainly one that I recommend. Obviously, most people have seen this at some point, and I've been talking about this, and a good film. Adam Sandler was very good at times in this film, and certainly a film that I did get a lot from. But overall, it's a fine film, and one that I definitely did personally love overall. But yes, what can you do? And yes, going through some films here. Yes, rewatching. Once again, it's been many years, a few years now at least, since I saw this film Ugetsu. Of course, a Mizoguchi film that I watched back in 2019. Around this time actually, and I thought it was a fine film, but I was kind of disappointed by this film, and I thought it wasn't one of my favourites from Mizoguchi, and seeing it again, I wanted to kind of get more from this, and perhaps come around to this a bit more, and I certainly did. I think it's better than I remembered, and I was invested for until really the final act, in many regards, and I thought this was definitely more investing and more commendable than I first thought, and I got more from this time round. Although I still don't love this film, I think it's definitely a good film, but not one of my favourites, that's for sure. And I thought once again it just was a bit too flat for me, for my liking, and just didn't really go to that level of kind of true greatness for me. Moving on from that, we have Macon Blair's I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, and this is a film that I'd heard about for a while, and sat down to see this film finally in February, and really nice film. This, simply put, a very charming and investing film, and I think the first half I definitely preferred, but overall, this is a really good film, and I did get a lot from this, and just a really kind of relaxing film at times. One that is easygoing, and at the same time, it's quite intense in places. But yes, certainly had a great time with this overall, and a very good film for me. And I'd really recommend seeing this and just again going in blind and seeing what you think of it. And Elijah Wood especially was great to see in this, and really enjoyable film. And day after that, I saw once again, because it's been many years. Really long since I saw this, because I first saw this just soon after it came out, and I didn't really rewatch it too much since then, and that is of course The King's Speech. And I personally love this film, and Colin Firth obviously is so great in this film, and once again just a stunning film for me. Loved it the first time, and I think this is probably my third watch of this film overall, and just the performances, the direction here, and that final act, it's just stunning. But the whole film is just so investing, and what a great film this is. And yes, The King's Speech. Obviously, many people have probably seen this film at some point, but yes. Another Buster Keaton film after that, Our Hospitality, and we'll be talking about that at some point, and have filmed a review for this actually already, and I'll be getting it up as soon as I can, and save my thoughts for that video. So yes, we'll kind of whiz through some of these now, and yes, once again I just had the urge to kind of watch the Pusher trilogy by Refn, since I did watch Drive, kind of earlier January time. I thought let's just watch a few more Refns again, and kind of getting that spree of Refn films, and the Pusher trilogy. Pusher 1 was way better than I remembered actually, and I did really enjoy it the first time round, but now I kind of borderline love this film, and again I did have some problems with the second half of the film, but overall I think it was better than I remembered, even the second half, and the ending, and just the effect it has on you, and just Pusher 1, certainly a very good film for me, and as a debut, this is very impressive as well, and obviously Mads Mikkelsen is legendary in this film, and just a very unique film, of course. And Pusher 2 for me is the best of the trilogy, and that is an absolutely stunning piece of work, and that is at times kind of near masterful for me, and once again blew me away, and very the most intense and just involving and kind of visionary piece I think of the trilogy for me, and the performances in this one, this is the peak of the trilogy, and Mads Mikkelsen is so great in this film. Obviously, just a standout here, and it's Pusher 3. Once again, seeing this, and even better than I remembered again. So all of these films, I did respond to massively the first time round, and even more so this time round. So it's a great kind of journey once again, going on these, watching these films, and Pusher 3, it's a great film for me, and I think once again it did surprise me even more, and than the first time round, and a great kind of conclusion to the trilogy, and these films. This trilogy, certainly ones that I recommend, and a film after that, after one of these films I saw, that I'd been, I saw this again soon after it came out, the first time round, and I can't quite remember my thoughts initially, but I thought, it wasn't, kind of a disaster. I don't think it's, a bad film per se, but it's not a film that I did enjoy, and yes, that is of course Roland Emmerich's 10,000 BC, and it's a film I thought I'd see this finally. I picked up the Blu-ray a while back, and just go to see Moonfall at some point, and check that one out. But I thought I'd see one of the films I hadn't seen from him in a while, and a mediocre film, perhaps, or weak at times. Overall, yeah, not a bad film for me, but one that is kind of hard to get through at times, and just doesn't really do enough for me to actually enjoy this film consistently. And yeah, just I can understand some kind of some do not take to this film, and really can't get into it at all, and it's not exactly full of characters that are that investing and all this you can expect from a kind of a film like this. But yeah, and even just the fact of as a historical film, I kind of feel seeing this, it doesn't really do enough with what is there, and yeah, it's a shame. It could have been so much more, but it's not a bad film for me. I do praise it in elements. At times I do praise this, but overall it just doesn't really do it for me. And yeah, just perhaps I'll review that film at some point, but perhaps not. Yes. Next up, Ravenous, a very very unique film. I simply say, just check this one out. It's very. I'm not going to say what this is about. It's very kind of obscure and wacky film, but very very affecting at times, and Robert Carlyle especially, is great in this film, and yeah, just check it out. Ravenous, of course, from 1999. So yes, certainly recommend this, and yeah, just see what you think of it. And next up, Babylon. This is a very very commendable film, an 80s film, and yes, it's starting to see this, and I'd heard a few things about this for a while, and it'd been on my radar, and certainly a very powerful and just immersive film. This very unique in the way it's kind of directed, and different moments of music and how they're incorporated into the film, and a really powerful, hard-hitting film, and one that I think everyone should see, and yeah, just a very very good film, and I think just really affecting work, and just the characters, and just really investing this one, and certainly a film, as I say, a very important film that everyone should check out at some point. So yes, Babylon, of course. And next up, going through some of these films here, again, just finishing off the Star Wars films already with the sequel trilogy, and just a glimmer here of the 4K of The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, and the original Blu-ray that I got for The Force Awakens. These films will be reviewed at some point, and I think I have some interesting things to say about these films, and yeah, I don't perhaps this trilogy is not my it's not what I think it could have been, based on obviously I've seen many times that The Force Awakens I love, but yes, we'll talk about these films, and just go through my thoughts on these and break them down, and I look forward to that and hearing your thoughts on these films as well. But yes, we'll save that for the reviews. And yes, going through some here, Siren, a horror film that I did not like. We'll just say that and leave it there. It was just it was one of those films that it didn't really do anything for me, unfortunately. And a few the creature designs at times, and the setting, and some wacky moments at first that were mildly entertaining, but overall just a bit of a slog. And I can't remember too much about this actually already. Kind of forgot it. So yeah, that kind of says it all. And obviously going through that, I saw as well the spin-off films, Star Wars films. Again, I do plan on perhaps talking about these films. Solo, really took to this one, and Rogue One. Rewatching this, certainly I enjoyed it more than I did first time round. So yeah, I have a few things to say about those. Perhaps I'll review them, but mainly focusing on the episodes first and foremost, and then from there we'll talk about the other spin-offs for this franchise. And so yes, just a few films left for February to talk about, and those were both rewatches. And yes, starting with The Disaster Artist, of course, a film that I truly love, and saw this. It must have been 2020, early 2020. I saw this film, and rewatching this again, and just such an enjoyable film. It's so kind of warm, and capturing, of course, the overall just the kind of charm and the magic of making a film regardless of how it turns out, and I think all the struggles as well that's involved in that potentially, and of course Tommy Wiseau, based on him and Greg Sestero's kind of making of the film and The Room, and everyone, most people have heard of The Room and seen clips of this, and of course, as I said in my review of that film, The Room itself, I said I met Tommy Wiseau, and it was a great time to meet him quite a few years ago now, and I got things signed, and it was a great experience, seeing The Room, and I think this film, The Disaster Artist, really perfectly captures this whole kind of the magic, the charm, of this, and also just it does bring out the humanity, and I think just the tragic elements of this whole kind of story, but then again turns it in the end into just positive, and it really is a film that does everything right in my books, and I think it's a masterpiece actually, and I really love this film, and one of my favourites of its year actually, and really a stunning achievement, and The Room and the film about The Room and the making of it. I love both, and it's just great to see this again, really uplifting, and just inspiring for me. Finally, yes, The House That Jack Built, seeing this again, just the urge to see this film from Lars von Trier, and just absolutely love this film, and not much more to say there. It is a stunning film that once again blew me away even more, and once again that final act in particular, wow, something else. And that wraps us up for the actual films to mention. So yes, that brings us now on to the favourite first watches of January and February 2022. We'll quickly get into it, and I think perhaps January and February have not been as stunning perhaps as previous months that I've had, favourite first watches, but I think yes, we had some great films that I watched, and for the first time, some really interesting films that I had a great time with, and I think for January we'll just say it has to be, I guess, Spider-Man No Way Home. A film that I'd been looking forward to seeing, of course, hearing all these things about it, and of course, I didn't love everything about this film, although it's my favourite first watch, of January. I think the final act and some elements of this film, certainly I didn't really take to, but overall I can't deny I still love the film, despite the kind of my kind of feelings about how it turned out, the ending and all this. I think a great film, but overall, yes, I had a great time with, and it's a nice experience in the cinema, and a film that really was so much fun, and so well made, this one, and the acting is just great in this film, and some really magical moments that looking back to my childhood and all these things I just wanted to see one day, and finally seeing it in this film. No Way Home for January, and I guess for February it has to be The Nightingale. This film blew me away, and I just think again, not a film that I think is perfect, but I think definitely the best film I watched for the first time in February, and really did just move me. It's a very powerful film, and a very shocking film at times. I was just really shocked by the violence of this. In this film, very, very graphic, and at the same time, a very kind of tranquil film at times. Very spiritual experience, I guess. That would be great to describe this film, and I recommend seeing this film. It's a very unique one, and certainly surprised me, and just very powerful film, raw, as I say, visceral feeling, and very a beautiful film to look at as well. The Nightingale for February. So there we have it, my favourite first watches, and most of the films I've been watching during this time. As always, tell me your thoughts on these films. What was your favourite first watch of January and February, and what have you been watching recently? It'd be great to hear, and always fascinating to hear what you've all been watching. It'd be great. So leave your thoughts in the comments. As always, feel free to share your experiences, and just discussions on cinema. As always, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.